What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the Hustle or Stay Basic channel. My name is Karn Gill at KG The Hustler on Instagram. Last week, I got a comment from M. Maheru asking if I could take a look at Beyond Meat and do some sort of company analysis. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to look at, what does Beyond Meat do? Some of their financial statements, some analyst projections, and, my final thoughts. If you guys are interested in more of these videos, they'll be on the Hustle or Stay Basic channel, but they'll be under another playlist called Invest or Stay Basic. And in that playlist, you'll have stock market news, investor terminology, and company analysis like this one. If you guys like this video and got value out of it, I'd appreciate it if you subscribed and gave it a thumbs up. All right, let's get into it. All right, so I'm on the Beyond Meat website, and we're going to take a look at what they do. If you haven't heard of Beyond Meat, they're essentially a meatless product or meat substitute product that's supposed to be healthy, organic, GMO-free, but let's see what their website says. So right off the bat, we see they're promoting a sponsorship or collaboration with Pizza Hut with their, Beyond Meat pan pizzas. So let's go to their mission statement. Let's take a look at, what the CEO's mission is and what the company's doing. So right off the bat, they're asking me if I want to, consent to cookies. I only eat cookies. I don't consent to them. But, this time, we're here. I'm doing it for you guys. I'll consent to some essential cookies, I guess. So let's go into their mission. So I'll just read it out for you guys. It says, we believe there's a better way to feed our future, and that the positive choices we all make, no matter how small, can have a great impact on our personal health and the health of our planet. By shifting from animal to plant-based meat, we can positively impact 4 growing global issues: human health, climate change, constraints on natural resources, and animal welfare. So already, we're reading this, we're starting to feel all good and warm and fuzzy inside. Let's dive in a little bit deeper. So over here, they talk about those 4 global issues and why they chose to start this company. Improve human health, positively impact climate change, address global resource constraints, and improve animal welfare. So when they say improve human health, most of their products are, I would say, beef and pork substitutes. And, they drive a lot of obesity issues, cholesterol issues. So they're trying to address that by, making their products with healthy ingredients, which we'll take a look at. And to positively impact climate change and address global, resource constraints, they're talking about farming and, the gases released from, farming these animals and how they impact the environment. And of course, improve animal welfare. I think it's safe to say that no animal was killed or harmed during the making of this website or the making of their products. So one of the things that I actually want to take a look at, and this is like beyond stocks and stuff, is what's in their food, what's in the products that they make, because I've been skeptical of ever purchasing some Beyond Meat products because I've heard there's some weird ingredients in there. So right now it says, learn more about our ingredients here. We're going to take a click on that and let's take a look. So here we are. It's talking about their key ingredients. Our food is simple, made from plants with no GMOs, no hormones, no antibiotics, and no cholesterols. We believe it's the future of food. GMOs is genetically modified organisms, I believe. So, all natural stuff here. And if we look at the proteins, which, a lot of people who are eating meat, they're trying to get their proteins. They're saying instead of, beef and pork, you'll be getting pea, mung bean, faba bean, and brown rice protein, which, sounds pretty natural. So far, so good. I have noticed that when I looked at the macronutrients of some of these burgers and substitutes, that there's a high content of fat. But they're healthy fats from what I hear. And over here, they're actually validating that by saying, they got cocoa butter, coconut oil, and expeller pressed canola oil. And if you want to learn more about, what expeller pressed canola oil is, I recommend you watch a video. It's a more natural way of getting canola oil, essentially. So minerals, calcium, iron, salt, potassium chloride, flavors and colors, beet juice extract, apple extract, and natural flavors. When I see natural flavors, I don't really trust that too much. I see that everywhere, so I don't know how natural it is, but I'm sure there's some FDA regulation that you can't put natural flavors unless you're actually getting it from a natural source. But I'll leave that for you guys to research. The beet juice extract, I know they use it as like a color substitute to kind of get that beef burger color or sausage patty color when they make their products. So that's interesting. Okay, let's go take a look at their products now. I'm just going to click on products. And you got some nice sausages here made in a stir fry. You got Beyond Meat meatballs. You got your Beyond Breakfast sausages. So, meatballs, sausage, like this, it still sounds like pork and beef substitutes right now. And their Beyond Burger, which is especially famous, kind of their claim to fame. I'm starting to see these pop up in Walmarts recently. So that's great. I'm in Canada, so we don't see too much of that stuff here. I've heard Beyond Meat's everywhere in the US, but I've just recently noticed it pop up quite a bit in the Walmarts here. We got the Cookout Classics, and we got some ground Beyond Beef to kind of make some kebabs and stuff like that. Cool. All right, so I think we get the gist of it. They make meat substitute products. They make them with natural ingredients. Doesn't look like anything too crazy in the ingredients list, and the why behind this company has a real warm and fuzzy feeling. It almost makes you want to invest, but as intelligent investors, we're not going to invest just because we want to. It's got to make sense financially. So let's go take a look at how the company has been performing recently. All right, so I've pulled up Beyond Meat's stock profile on Yahoo Finance, and here it is. We're looking at a current price per share of $136.56 and a market cap of $8.556 billion. And for all of you new investors who aren't familiar with the terminology market cap, it's a great valuation metric that a lot of us use to kind of compare different companies and different market caps to see what a company is valued at. To come up with the market cap, it's basically the price per share times the number of shares available or out there. So currently, I'll just pull out my calculator. So if I do, $8.56 billion divided by $136 per share, there's about 62 million shares out there. Some quick maths for you guys, so you guys are able to understand, why the valuation of a company is that way. And 8.556 is actually pretty high. And the reason I say that is I can pull up a meat company like, let's say Maple Leaf. There you go. We got Maple Leaf Foods here in Canada. I'm going to keep it Canadian, and they have a market cap of $3.2 billion. The reason I say it's high is let's take a look at what Beyond Meat's doing today financially in terms of sales, and compare it to Maple Leaf, and then we can kind of compare and contrast. So I'm gonna click on actually, you know what, I'm just gonna scroll down to the bottom here. You guys can see this little chart here, and Beyond Meat did $297.9 million in sales last year. And if we change it to quarterly, they've obviously been growing crazy fast, and they did $94 million last quarter in sales. Now, if I flip the page and go to Maple Leaf Foods, they did $3.94 billion in sales last year, and quarterly they did $1 billion last year. So here we have a company that let's go back here. We have 100 million and $1 billion last quarter. That's 10x. Maple Leaf is doing 10x the amount of sales, Yet its valuation is $5 billion less than Beyond Meat. And you might be wondering, like, okay, why? And it goes back to, I believe, like the craze of Beyond Meat and why people wanted to succeed. I believe it's mainly because of the mission of Beyond Meat. This is the brand for meatless products or meat substitute products. Maple Leaf is just a, pig, chicken, cow slaughtering behemoth in Canada. And people, millennials maybe, investors just don't want to support that lifestyle anymore. We want to, think about, animal welfare, CO2 emissions, etc. So let's go look at the financials and then we'll get back to some other thoughts on Beyond Meat and Maple Leaf. All right, so let's take a look at the income statement. Beyond Meat did 94.436 million last quarter. This is obviously in thousands, so you just add 3 zeros to it. So that's 94.4 million in revenue in sales last quarter. And, the cost of manufacturing and producing this product was 68.9 million, leaving them a gross profit of about 25 million. Which is decent, but then once you come to their operating expenses like marketing, rent, stuff like that, we're actually left with an operating income in the negatives, which is, not that great. Thumbs up for the sound effect, by the way. And, so for me, this income statement already is not looking great. It shows in the past that they were actually able to maintain a positive operating income, but now that we're looking at it, it's getting worse and worse. And I don't know if that's they're spending a lot more on marketing, but it doesn't look that great to me right now. And of course their net income reflects that. It's trending in the wrong direction. Obviously, as intelligent investors, we want to see profit margins increasing and net income increasing over time. That makes me get excited about a company. We're not seeing that here, but one thing that is interesting is if you look at, I'm going to click on the annual mode. We are seeing the sales growing incredibly rapidly. 4 years ago, they were doing 16 million in sales. Now they're doing, last year they did 297 million in sales. That's exciting. That's good. Maybe if their sales keep on increasing, they can kind of let go on their marketing expenses and stuff like that to increase their net income. EBITDA doesn't look great either. We're seeing negative or no numbers, so negative earnings, and you can kind of see it on the screen here. They haven't been able to make a profit yet. Let's take a look at their balance sheet. So right now, in my opinion, they're 0 for 1 on their income statement. But I do like the fact that they're growing in sales rapidly. When I take a look at balance sheets, the things I look for are how much cash are you carrying today? Just so you're ready to deploy cash for investments and stuff like that. And also, how much debt are you carrying? So I like to look at companies with a lot of cash, low debt, and they have a lot of leverage. And so let's take a look at Beyond Meat, and hopefully they have a good balance sheet. So I'm going to change this to quarterly. And if you guys are wondering where cash sits, it's usually in the current asset section. And they're sitting on $214 million of cash, which is great. Because if we look at the income statement, it looks like they're losing money, but the good thing is that they actually have some cash to sit on. Next thing I want to look at is the current debt. How much debt do they have, or how much do they owe within the next, or within 12 months, which is current debt. We'll find that in the liabilities section. Current liabilities, current debt. This is exactly what I love to see in any company I want to invest in. Zero current debt. That means they owe no money to anyone within the next 12 months, and they're sitting on 275 million cash on hand. So let's take a look at any long-term debt. I give the example of like a company like AT&T that sits on hundreds of billions of dollars, at least last time I checked, of debt. So you don't want to be fooled by the current debt. You also want to see what's coming up ahead. So we're going to click on non-current liabilities. That's long-term debt. And long-term debt of $50 million. Honestly, not bad. They could pay that off today if they really wanted to. So totally cool with that. I would give this a thumbs up on their balance sheet. You let me know in the comments below if you agree on my takes on the income statement or the balance sheet. But so far, this balance sheet looks good. Let's go take a quick look at the cash flow statement. I like taking a look at a company's free cash flow because this is usually where dividend payments are made out of. And when I see a lot of free cash flow on a company, I'm like, okay, cool. They can, invest in more equipment, or they can pay us investors dividends. Looking at Beyond Meat, we got negative free cash flow. This is a thumbs down. Totally not liking that. So I would give it, thumbs down on balance on the income statement, but kind of hesitant to give it a full 2 thumbs down, just because of we're seeing the sales grow year over year incredibly fast. And I'll give it a thumbs up, maybe even a 2 thumbs up on the balance sheet. Looks really good. And for the free cash flow statement, no, come on, give me some dividends. All right, let's take a look at what analysts think Beyond Meat is going to do over the next couple of years. And this is where it should get exciting, because if previous sales are any indication of the future, which they are not, Beyond Meat is going to absolutely tear it apart over the next couple of years. So let's take a quick look. Still predicting negative earnings this year, but a huge jump in positive earnings over the next year. And I personally enjoy looking at the sales, especially of Beyond Meat. So if you remember earlier in the video, I talked about them doing $297.9 million in sales last year. Analysts are predicting that they'll do $419 million in sales this year. That's a jump of 40%, which is absolutely insane. And they're predicting Beyond Meat to top that next year by doing $653 million in sales, which would be a jump of 56% if Beyond Meat does $419 million this year. So really high expectations on sales. And personally, I think they could do it, because when you think of Beyond Meat, you think of, they are the brand for meat substitute products or meatless products. And, they're really going to become, I've heard other investors say, the Coca-Cola of pop. They're going to become, the Beyond Meat of meatless products. They're going to be the brand that everyone talks about when referring to meatless products. Kind of like, when someone goes and grabs a Coke, they're like, hey, can I get a Coke? Can I get a cola? Even though they're like, the person working at the fast food joint is like, hey, we only got Pepsi. It's like, yeah, same thing. But, it's because pop and Coke are synonymous when you think of those two things. And, Beyond Meat's growing brand power seems like it's going to be synonymous with, meatless products. So I could totally see their sales meeting that. But, analyst price targets of this year are $115. We're over that today. We have some people saying that, they should sell it, or it's overweight at this point. So that's kind of what the analysts are thinking. I agree with their sales. I'm not going to speculate too much on their earnings, but what are my final thoughts on Beyond Meat? Let's get into it. I personally think Beyond Meat is the real deal. I've had their product at a local A&W, which is a Canadian, fast food chain here, and they're available at many fast food chains. I'm just going to show this quickly on the screen. You got Del Taco, Dunkin', Carl's Jr., A&W, Denny's, Beyond Meat working with McDonald's to come up with their McPlant sandwich, as you might have seen in my previous video I talked about. Beyond Meat with Beyond Pan Pizza with Pizza Hut. So they're totally getting involved with all the fast food chains. I'm seeing them appear at Walmart. I can totally see their sales go up and increase. So it comes down to this: should you invest in Beyond Meat? And what am I doing? Am I investing in Beyond Meat? So I'll start with my point of view. I invest from like the intelligent investor perspective and fundamentals. That way, where I will only invest in a company when I know it's undervalued, and I also set a margin of safety. With Beyond Meat, as it stands today, it is overvalued in my opinion. If you believe that Beyond Meat will be able to hit 3 to 4 billion in sales within the next 5 years, it is not undervalued. It is not overvalued. And personally, I just can't do that. It probably could hit those numbers, but I just can't speculate. So I will stay out of Beyond Meat. But I still think if you're a speculative investor and you believe it might hit those numbers in sales, this could be a good deal today. So let me know in the comments below. Would you be investing in Beyond Meat and why? And if you like this video, please let me know in the comments what you liked about it. Drop a thumbs up, leave a comment, and subscribe. And if you guys want to see any other company analysis like this, let me know in the comments below and I'll definitely do it. Thanks for tuning in to the Hustle or Stay Basic page, the Invest or Stay Basic segment, and I'll catch you guys later. See ya.